I will now begin the chant to begin the ritual for Bunny to go all in and place down 2 gases after his first barracks. It's a preparation that requires you to sacrifice a goat. Yes, very Roman-esque.
I was gonna say, I mean, this is serious, very serious.
Yes. Bunny does not mess around with his builds. We'll see though. Of course, the indicator of if he is going for that build is if the second gas goes down. That's really all you need to see. If the second gas goes down, it's going to be 1 base. If not, Bunny will be going with a rather standard opener, so we will have to see. But Trap, going for a very, very early scout here, is just going to make sure he gets all the information that he can see and make sure there's no shenanigans going on.
It's looking like 1 gas here, FireBird. I'm sorry to say.
Shucks.
The dancing that I get to witness on cam here, it can come to an end, unfortunately. I just don't want you to get tired.
I'll turn, don't worry.
No. Okay, so standard play, though, is not going to be bad out of either player. I mean, obviously, they're both very, very confident. Trap going to go for a rather early Nexus, though. It's not Nexus first. Cybercore did get thrown down a bit before that, but just kind of a sign of things to come that we will not have anything too terribly aggressive here at the onset of the game. But Trap is no stranger to the Blink Stalker timings here in PvT, so to see that potentially unfold here would not be a shock to anybody, but it'll be the next tech structure that will be the interesting call here. Is Trap going to try and get that Stargate to leverage a little bit of a positional advantage, or might we see some ground aggression?
I'll have to see. We did see Trap go Stargate against Maru 2 games in a row, actually. I think the first game, did he go Stargate?
Yeah.
Yeah, went Stargate 2 games in a row. This time is going to be going with the Blink Stalkers, though. Most likely. Of course, if there's, like, charge starts up, then we're like, oh my god, Trap's going crazy. Actually, never mind, Bunny's going crazy. What is this, TVZ? That's a second CC at 245.
Yeah, I've been seeing this out of a lot of our Korean Terran players over the last month or so. It seems to be what Terran players want to do if they can get their opponent to sit back and not aggress them, because if they don't get punished for it, I mean, they basically just get a free base super fast, and that means more SCVs, it means more scans, and it could potentially mean a better position in the mid game. But Trap's going to try and find a little bit of advantage here. He gets the Adepts back behind enemy lines. They are going to find some good damage, but it was that Twilight Council first here. So Blink already on the way. Trap is going to have a timing here, and if he can delay his opponent from making extra additional units, he could very much capitalize on this very quick Blink timing.
Yeah, that being said, Bunny does get the scout, and these 3 Adepts will have to eventually shade out because there are enough Marines now to shove them back. Of course, the Marines do get 1 shot, which is obviously very, very dangerous, and Trap knows that, focuses down 2 workers, and then gets on out. But yeah, Bunny, I mean, it's a very early third base for TVP even. Like, I think TVZ has kind of become the standard with that early third CC. That's just what everybody does. But in TVP, it's just very interesting to see. And I don't think Trap even knows, because mind you, he's gone with the Robo facility. He's only added on 1 gateway, and he's going into a third. He thinks this is just like a regular opening from Bunny. Well, no, actually, Trap. Your third base is even later than Bunny's. Get played, nerd. That's what Bunny's saying right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's mind games. Anytime you've got 2 people of similar skill level, if you can get a little bit ahead on some deceptive play or getting your opponent to do one thing when you're doing the other, it adds up over the course of the game. But this is kind of a pivotal moment here. Blink's about to finish up, so now we see those Stalkers pushing across the map. Have we seen a Warp Prism? Do we have? It seems like there might be an Observer, so the Blink up into the main base is still going to be possible, but there aren't that many Marines up top. Okay, Marauder adding in there would be helpful as well, but it's the push across the map that could potentially be scary. This Reaper's going to spot it, though.
Yeah, and also, another thing to note there that's really important is Trap used 2 blinks there on the low ground, so he's not even going to be able to blink into the main really without Bunny having enough to hold against it. So Bunny went for the 3 racks follow-up to this 3cc opener. Obviously just feeling very, knowing that he needs to get up a good amount of bio units, he can really delay his tech. He doesn't necessarily need it. Trap gonna be going into charge, getting up 5 more gateways. This is the exact same build that he did against Maru in that game 1. We'll have to see when Bunny puts down that 3rd base, because at this point, Trap is going to start to get that worker lead, and there we go, the liftoff does come down, and, well, these 5 Stalkers looking a lot less intimidating now. There are 4 Marauders out and a whole handful of Marines.
Yeah, it's going to be an immediate recall. It's going to get 2 killed, but the rest will be able to escape. For the cost of 5 workers, not a horrible exchange. Does get a little bit of scouting information. The observers continue to rotate around. The Psystorm actually coming out very, very quick as well. It's about halfway done, so that's going to be pre-8 minutes Psystorm alongside Charge and a Forge going down. The ground army is going to continue expanding here for Trap, but both players right now kind of in lockstep, just moving forward into the mid game.
Yeah, Bunny has been able to get up all of his tech. 3rd base goes down, and really, he's not even that far behind the Protoss. Now, of course, Trap sitting with a very, very comfortable worker lead right now at about 14, which is pretty substantial, but of course, you have to consider mules in with that equation does equal it out. Bunny, what does he have? Well, it's going to be, I think he's right now sitting on 5 racks, so you're going to have 3 Marauders and 4 Marines at a time. Double Widow Mine production with the Medivacs, also has +1 already and is getting his +1 armor. So Bunny is going to be transitioning this into a pretty standard macro game. He's going to be working on 2-2 as soon as that armory finishes and his upgrades are done. Single Zealot drop there, and Widow Mine's going to be able to, I think, really stop this from getting too much damage done. But there comes an additional warp in from Trap. Bunny's just going to pull back, throw down scans to make sure there's no other army coming across the map, but already losing actually quite a few workers. Mine going down, just doing a whole lot more damage than I initially thought it would, but Bunny just didn't have anything at home.
That was a really, really good aggressive warp in here. Sometimes those don't end up paying out, but 11 workers for the cost of the 4 warp ins, that was absolutely worth it. As now Trap's going to try pushing on forward here. Good Storms getting on top of some of the bio, but it's mostly Marauders, and the Marauders are going to soak up a lot of that Storm, but not that much here. Those are going to get awful soft, and now suddenly these Stalkers should be able to do a little bit of work, but instead they are just going to blink backwards. It will be reinforcing Zealots, though. Those are going to be the surprise units brought down from the high ground. That will mean Bunny has to try and reposition and group his whole army. I think Bunny has enough to be able to push this off, but he's trying to deal in multiple locations. The Warp Prism does get taken care of, so that's a great accidental fire here for Bunny. Trap will lose a lot of the aggression there in that main base, but it's continued aggression here at the 3rd base location. More workers getting picked off. That Immortal caught out in the middle of nowhere. That's going to be a free kill. And Bunny is going to be able to hold here, but it's not without casualty.
Man, just snipe the High Templar, and that's, of course, very big, despite the fact that it, does soften up his troops. And yeah, I think Bunny, that's a good hold considering, because he finishes up his 1-1. He has a Ghost Academy on the way, as well as his +2 attack. That's, eating some big storms, though. Can't afford to take too many more of these trades out in the middle of the map. You do have a lot of bio that's getting produced, but I mean, hey, it's forcing a lot of energy out of these High Templar, and that's, of course, very useful, because that means that when Trap attacks, well, he's not going to have those storms to zone out Bunny's army. He can simply have the Ghosts EMP the Zealots to clean up that front, and then start to move forward. And despite the fact that Bunny lost a lot of workers, he still is only behind about 16, and that's, in the long term, not a lot, but again, there's just these counterattacks by Trap. Bunny's army just kind of sitting out in the middle of the map, not really in position to deal with these.
These Zealot run-bys have been incredibly damaging for Trap. He's gotten so much advantage off of this, and it's slowly adding up here. 133 to 119. Bunny's having a difficult time really securing his worker count. He's been sitting down almost an entire base worth of workers for the last 3 to 4 minutes, and at this point in the game, all of that adds up very, very quickly. Mules are a strong economic piece of Bunny's arsenal, but if he's constantly having to rebuild workers, if he's constantly having to scan to try and get those observers picked away, it lessens the amount of effect that it will have on Bunny's overall economy. So looking to try and find some damage here with this army. But again, it's another Zealot run by. So there's going to be more worker kills, FireBird.
This is, it's absolutely brutal, Trap. This knows exactly how to stop a Terran from doing what they want, but Bunny will be able to, actually, he should just be able to get a kill in this fourth. Trap's army is not in position. If the focus fire is there, it should go down. Bunny does manage to focus it. Widowmine's actually getting some really decent hits here, and Bunny backs up, says, you know what, that's pretty worth. Get the kill on the Nexus. Of course, behind this, Bunny is not getting a fourth of his own, but also all the Widow mines are still there. Mind you, Trap does not have an observer, so if Trap walks back over these and these mines re-prime, might get some very big damage onto those High Templar if he's not paying attention.
Ooh, this is kind of a rocky back and forth here. Those mines are just about ready to set up once again. Oh, this is going to be scary damage. Ah, this softens up a lot of that army. It's not going to be devastating damage, but again, every little bit makes a huge difference in these very tight engagements. So trying to rebuild that fourth base location is Trap, trying to leverage that worker count lead. But again, look at that, 68-47. Bunny's played down in economy for so long, and he's able to continue to keep the game well evened out with his army disparity. So FireBird, he's comfortable playing a little bit economically behind.
Yeah, I think right now Bunny is starting to get into a really good position. Was going to go for the Bunny Doom drop, you know, the padded in Bunny play where he just YOLOs it in and actually, ooh, might catch out all these Colossus is absolutely huge. It's 4 Colossus out in the open, 2 get focused down, the 3rd goes down as well. Bunny brings in the rest of the forces on the other drop, but that's a massive storm from Trap trying to hold on. All 4 Colossus are dead though. All the High Templar energy is gone. Bunny, did he pounce at the right time? These storms are absolutely massive. They're cleaning up so much of the army. Zealots coming back in. Widow mines are going to be cleaned up, but here come the reinforcements, and Trap just got caught, just, you know, sleeping a little bit there. Wasn't expecting Bunny to pounce.
Picking off the fourth base would be absolutely devastating damage here for Trap, but Trap is able to push it off, at least for the time being. Bunny's trying to stim on forward, though he knows that that base is very vulnerable, but does not want to overextend and risk losing all of this army. The supplies are so dangerously close here, 116 to 108. No player has a super clear advantage, but it's Bunny throwing down his fourth base rather late. He's been investing a lot into that army count. He's decided that he needs to have a little bit more economy to back it up as well. Playing down 16 workers is just not acceptable for him anymore.
Yeah, and the reason why he does it now is because, of course, you traded off enough army there that you can comfortably get this. You know that the Protoss has to rebuild Colossus. That's going to be a lot of money where they can't really spend onto, you know, charge lots, and also that Nexus cost so dangerously low. I mean, just a single drop, if Trap is out of position, could snipe that again, and that would be disastrous. But Bunny, I believe right now, sitting on 2-2 upgrades. Trap is working on his +3. And you have Liberators and Ghosts in production. Bunny, he's transitioned this already into this late game Terran Powerball that's going to just try and chunk through the Protoss army. And I'm not sure if Trap has what he needs to hold. You know, he doesn't really have Stalkers to deal with the Liberators. The Ghosts can just eliminate all the shields on the Archons. It really feels like Bunny is in a great spot right now.
Yeah, he needs to just find a decent position out on the map. He's going to get on top of this fourth base location once again in the top right corner. There's a building floating over northeast of the fourth base of Trap, and I don't think it looks like it might be like a factory or something, but that seems a little strange. That doesn't matter, though. It is going to be this Bioforce pushing on in here. Trap getting caught once again on a terrible position, and this base is immediately going to get tapped down and pushed into the dirt. So now Trap is in kind of a tricky spot here. He's got to find a way to mitigate this damage. Otherwise, Bunny's going to be able to run away from him. But it's a great concave by Bunny. Storm's going down, but a great stim backwards is going to mitigate a lot of the damage. And suddenly, the supplies are just dwindling here for our Red Protoss player. This is looking bad.
Yeah, Bunny's establishing a fourth at the same time. He has the EMPs to get rid of all the energy. The single storm was dodged beautifully. There's only 2 Colossus left. No fourth base for Trap. I mean, what does he even have here? He's going to try and blink forward, but you can't really do that. There's so much bio here. The Liberator is going to get sniped, but these Colossus are so dangerously low, and now all of the units that want to tank for them are gone. Ghosts are being thrown forward, but the Colossus are going to go down. Bunny is stimming forward. He says, You know what? Who's Maru? I'm Bunny. I'm going to make this work. I'm going to beat Trap. It may only be one game, but it is very convincing. It's wonderfully played, and I do not think there is anything left here for our red Protoss. Trap going to try and hold on. Just going to try and blink back, say, I can do it. I have the micro. But unfortunately, Bunny, well, he's more of a wolf disguised in Bunny's clothing because this was absolute killer instinct from him.
A very apt comparison there. I love it. Trap's going to try and give it his all. Rarely do you want to leave a game too early, especially when it's on the ace match and there's a lot on the line, but I think Bunny has done what he needs to here. He's going to start depowering some of these tech structures, so robotics facility is going to get shut down here. Some giant storms, though, onto this army. Trap trying to do everything he possibly can to stay in this game. The probe pull wasn't that deadly. 8 probes going down. He shuts down the push, but I think it's just going to be a matter of time at this point. The reinforcements come streaming across the map. There is a lot of damage put down onto these expensive units, and that's all it's going to be. Bunny wrestles back the 4-3 victory for Team NV and gives them a shot